Sometimes the most painful moments of our lives become the reason we rise higher than we ever imagined. This is the story of Daniel Brooks, a young man from Ohio, USA. If you have ever felt broken, rejected, or hopeless, stay with me till the end, because Daniel's journey might just change the way you see your own life. Daniel was born into a working-class family. His father was a truck driver, often away from home for weeks, and his mother worked as a cashier in a small grocery store. Money was always tight. Some nights, dinner was nothing more than bread and peanut butter. As a child, Daniel often wondered why life seemed unfair. While his classmates had the latest sneakers, video games, and vacations, he had hand-me-down shoes and second-hand books. Yet his mother always told him, "Daniel, remember your value doesn't come from what you wear, but from what you do with your life." But as Daniel grew older, that advice became harder to believe. He was bullied in school for his old clothes. Teachers overlooked him because he was quiet. By high school, Daniel had already convinced himself that he was destined for an average, ordinary, and possibly miserable life. At 19, Daniel fell in love. Her name was Emily, a sweet and ambitious girl who dreamed of becoming a nurse. For the first time, Daniel felt like someone truly believed in him. Emily would often say, "Daniel, you're smarter than you think. You're stronger than you believe. Don't let this town hold you down." For a while, Daniel was happy. He worked part-time at a diner, saving money, and dreamed of building a future with her. But soon, reality hit hard. Emily's parents disapproved of Daniel. They thought he had no future, no stability, no real chance of success. And then one day, Daniel's world broke apart. Emily left him. Not because she didn't love him, but because her parents pushed her to marry someone else, someone wealthier, more secure. Daniel begged, but she walked away. That night, sitting alone in his small room, Daniel cried like he never had before. He whispered to himself, "I wasn't enough. I'll never be enough." For weeks, Daniel fell into depression. He stopped eating properly, lost weight, and avoided his friends. He even thought about quitting life altogether. But then, one evening, something inside him shifted. He remembered Emily's words, "You're stronger than you believe." And that's when Daniel decided to thought the world didn't see his worth. He would prove it. Not with words, but with success. Daniel began working extra shifts at the diner, saving every penny. He spent nights at the local library, reading books about business, finance, and personal growth. For the first time in his life, he wasn't just surviving, he was preparing for something greater. At 21, he tried to start a small online store, selling custom t-shirts. It failed. Nobody bought. He felt crushed, but this time, he didn't quit. Instead, he learned why it failed. He studied marketing, design, and branding. At 22, he started again, this time selling fitness gear online. It worked for a few months, but collapsed when suppliers cheated him. Friends laughed at him, saying, "Daniel, you're wasting your time. Just get a normal job and forget these crazy dreams." But Daniel's pain had become his fuel. Every rejection, every insult, every failure, he turned it into energy to keep going. By 24, Daniel had tried and failed 3 times, but on his 4th attempt, something finally clicked. He noticed how young people were obsessed with healthy lifestyles, but couldn't afford expensive gym memberships. So Daniel created a low-cost fitness app that provided home workout plans and affordable meal prep guides. He coded late at night, watched tutorials, and borrowed money from a friend to hire a basic developer. Slowly, downloads began. At first, just a few hundred, then thousands. Within a year, his app had over 100,000 users. Investors started calling. By 26, Daniel was no longer the poor boy from Ohio. He was a tech entrepreneur running a company worth millions. But success didn't just give him money, it gave him something far more powerful: self-breath. One evening, Daniel drove back to his hometown in his new car. He parked outside the same diner where he once worked, walked inside, and ordered the same meal he used to serve. Some of the same people who once mocked him now looked at him in disbelief. Later, standing outside, Daniel whispered to himself, "It was never about proving them wrong. It was about proving myself right." He realized that losing Emily had been the greatest blessing, because if she had stayed, he might never have discovered the fire inside him. Daniel's story teaches us something simple but powerful. Pain can either break you or build you. It's your choice. Rejection is not the end. Sometimes it's the beginning of your real journey. Success doesn't come from talent or luck alone. It comes from refusing to quit, even when life knocks you down again and again. So if you feel like you're not enough, remember Daniel. Remember the boy who was poor, heartbroken, and lost, but who turned his pain into greatness. And maybe, just maybe, your struggle right now is preparing you for a future beyond anything you can imagine.